Welcome to Gawne in 60 Seconds. It's that time of the week where we look at all of this week's motorsport news and I tell you what motorsport is on this weekend and where you can watch it. Loads to get into, so let's get straight into it. So first things first, this is the car channel. Please make sure you subscribe to that if you're not already. On here you've got videos such as the new MG S6 EV, which went live last week. You've got the Smart #1 full review and buyer's guide that went live this week. The Kia EV5 and then the Kia Sorento will be going live next week as well. So plenty on there and plenty still to come. And then you've got the Motorsport channel, which is this one where we put these weekly update videos and then breaking news as and when it happens. Please make sure you subscribe to both. It doesn't cost anything and it really does make a massive difference. Now, first piece of news is a really sad piece of news coming out of Formula E, and the team principal of Citroën Racing has sadly passed away. Born the same year as me, so he's the same age as me, so it's really shocking. And obviously I'm really young, he was really young. It's just really gutting for all involved. So, of course, condolences to his family, friends and the Formula E community. A really sad premature loss. Now into the rest of the news. This is a news story about Red Bull turning down a £3 billion offer from an Abu Dhabi investment firm for the Racing Bulls F1 team. Now, I'm not going to pay to read this on the Times website, but what I do know about this is that it has been turned down. But it is not the only offer. There are more offers on the table. And with all of the stories and all of the controversy about multi-team ownership, this is only going to come more into focus. Red Bull don't necessarily need the extra team, and it is really only used now for breeding this next generation of talent. If they sold the team, they could perhaps do a deal where they keep a seat for a young driver or something. It's only a matter of time, I think, before they're forced to sell this team. I think that second team ownership should be banned in F1. Certainly, as you see in football, there are consequences if you own two football teams. They can't play in the same competition. It is grossly unfair, and we've seen the way that Racing Bulls drivers move over for Max Verstappen, etc. So I genuinely think that it is only a matter of time before this actually happens. I think they may value the team at maybe 4 billion, maybe a bit more than what they've been offered. Maybe it's just not the right buyer. Now we know that BYD are shopping around. They're looking for an entry. If they can't get an entry from the FIA, then they're going to have to buy a team. And probably Racing Bulls looks like it might be one of the biggest options, because Alpine doesn't look like it is for sale anymore. Next story is this Aston Martin update. It's a huge update coming to this Hungarian Grand Prix this weekend, and it is such a big update because everything hangs on it. This is the Adrian Newey update. It is all at this, the kitchen sink, everything. A completely new chassis, completely new aerodynamic package, and we're going to see how well this does. And this is really important because if it's rubbish, there's a good chance Fernando Alonso won't stick around. It needs to have a massive update in terms of performance, multiple seconds a lap better than the current car. Now, if you think the Aston Martin in Spa was lapping closer to F2 times than it was to F1 times, it gives you an idea of how big that gap is. Like 2 seconds a lap isn't going to be enough. They need a bigger update than that. This has to be a huge update. It has to work for them. So much money has gone into this. Pretty much their whole budget cap allowance has gone into this big update. Not sure whether they'll have the new Honda power unit ready for this weekend, but it looks like they do have all of the bits ready for this update. Otherwise, there's some images across Twitter. These ones were updated by Thomas Maher. Loads of differences here. You can, I'm no aerodynamicist, but you can see the car already looks very different. So plenty to see there for those that know their stuff. I'm really interested to see how it goes. In terms of updates for Hungary as well, Of course, there's the brand new pit lane, but also there is a brand new safety car. Yes, the new GT. It is the taking over from the GT Black Series. It is going to be the new AMG GT63 Pro 4MATIC Plus. I think it looks pretty mean, doesn't it? And that livery is quite striking. So very interesting. I'm really excited about that. That looks great. So, race results for the Belgian Grand Prix, and I'm interested in this. Kimi Antonelli continues to absolutely impress me. The Ferraris looked better again. I think Lewis Hamilton feels like the 5-second penalty he got was probably a bit unfair. I don't think that is what put him in 4th place, in all honesty. I think his crash in P3 was the biggest error, and I think that cost him a bit more time in terms of optimising his package and his setup for the race. Charles Leclerc did well, Max Verstappen right up there in P3. The McLarens looked slightly better. Lando Norris had quite a good race. I don't think they were in win contention, but then look at Audi, P8 there for Gabriel Bortoleto. Now, the big thing to note is George Russell, no points on the board, and he was raging about the car. Now, it is true that there were some updates across the Mercedes PUs, that not all of them had all of the deployment exactly how they would like. But George Russell is missing out. He is not performing to the same standard as his teammate. There is no doubt about it. Looking at the traces, the telemetry, the way he drives the car just isn't as good for these new regulations as the way Kimi drives it. Russell brakes later into corners, therefore doesn't have that time you need to regen the battery to give you more power down the next straight. Kimi has got this nailed. He knows exactly how much braking distance he needs to put the energy back in the battery. And it's probably not the purest form of racing. However, Kimi has it nailed. He knows exactly what he's doing, and George Russell can't beat him. George Russell cannot match Kimi's amazing, and it has to be said that it's amazing, ability to get these regulations and understand them and perform with them. So I predict that George Russell is pretty much out of this title race. I don't think he can match Kimi. He's got to rely on Kimi Antonelli having more bad luck. Now, he's already had the retirement in Barcelona. He's already had the unlucky piece of bodywork coming loose at Silverstone, costing him points as well. Both races, it looked like he was faster than George. And this is the problem. Since maybe the first race in the season, George just hasn't been as quick as Kimi. So he's going to need some more bad luck from Kimi. But what do you think? Do you agree with me that he's struggling? Do you agree with me that he is pretty much out of this title race? Personally, I don't rate George Russell. I don't think he's elite. I think Kimi Antonelli is elite in the Verstappen, Hamilton category. I don't think George Russell is. That's my take, and I'd love to hear yours. Do you think George Russell is elite? Because I personally don't. And that's my take. That's my... Right, next piece of news. Lewis Hamilton was given a penalty for an unsafe release. It was an unsafe release, there's no doubt about that. But just to let you know that it's 30 grand, of which 10,000 is suspended for 12 months. So they don't do it again. So 20 grand, 20,000 euros cash straight in the FIA's pocket. George Russell, we've talked about him. Now we're going to talk a little bit, just touch on this. We've talked about it before. FIA are going to have to clamp down on the algorithms because there is a lot of AI machine learning going into how these cars are driven, going into how the deployment works when the battery is activated. And this is sparking real concerns because you've got disparity over the grid and you don't know quite when the algorithm is gonna give you maximum power. So it's almost like you're not fully in control, and this is a really big point. that needs more investigation, because it genuinely feels like the drivers are not 100% in control of when these cars deploy. And that is a problem, because actually it's against FIA's own regulations to drive the car wholly unaided. So I'd be interested to know your thoughts on this. Do you think that AI has no place in racing? Obviously the teams think it does, because it's probably quicker at thinking than drivers, and maybe it will bring a theoretical better lap time to use the AI algorithms to get the best possible lap. Probably better than the drivers feel. But do you think it has a place? I don't think it has a place. I think if the AI is doing the driving, if the AI is doing all of this, then all of the cars are going to be driven to 100% of the capability of the car, and then you'll just see them stacked 2 by 2 every weekend. The whole point of motor racing is the best drivers and the best machines win, and I think if you take AI out of the equation, you get that. If you put it back in, then you could see not great drivers doing great things in good cars. And that is something that we really need to be careful of. So it's time to look at the calendar, and again, M Sport Extra has come up trumps with all of the details. You've got F1, F2, F3, you've got Formula E in Tokyo, and the BTCC in Thruxton. So let's just have a look. The ITV TV guide. Formula E live on Saturday, 11 AM on ITV4. Then if you look on Sunday, and it jumps all the way back, BTCC is on all day from 11 o'clock on ITV4. If you want to watch the Sunday race for the Formula E, you're going to have to look on either TNT Sports or the ITVX app. And then it's time for F3, F2, F1. So F3 weekend timings: practice 8:55 on Friday, 2 PM for qualifying. Then on Saturday the sprint is at 9 AM, 9:05, and the race on Sunday is at 7:40. For F2, Friday times: practice at 10:05, qualifying at 2:55, and the sprint on Saturday is at 1:15. The race on Sunday, 10:25 AM. And then F1, thank you to Silverstone for making these graphics again. So the Hungarian Grand Prix, practice 1, 12:30 on Friday, practice 2, 4 PM on Friday. Then on Saturday, practice 3 at 11:30, qualifying at 3 PM, and then the race lights out at 2 PM. So 2 PM for the race on Sunday. So those are your timings. That's where to watch all of this weekend's motorsport, and there is plenty of it to watch. Please tell me what you think about any of the stories covered in today's video, and please do make sure you're subscribed as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.